Have you ever felt that profound emptiness after what you thought was an awakening? Why does the clarity you craved turn into confusion and detachment? What if I told you that feeling lost in the silence is part of the journey, not a failure? Welcome to the paradox of spiritual awakening, where the expected rush of joy often morphs into a quiet, unsettling fog. Somewhere along your path, perhaps following a seismic shift in perception or a personal collapse, you stumbled upon a powerful moment. You glimpsed the illusion, those intricate patterns of life, the cacophony of existence, and then, like a volume dial being slowly turned down, you found yourself enveloped in silence. Initially, this quiet was a liberating and empowering revelation that urged you to pause and reflect. But as time passed, that sense of meaning seemed to evaporate, not in a dramatic blaze, but gently, like the fading light of dusk, leaving you in a twilight state of uncertainty. You ceased to chase after goals. You stopped caring, not out of recklessness, but rather from a profound existential sigh. The question began to whisper, almost hauntingly, in the recesses of your mind. Why do I feel so numb now that I finally see the truth? This is where the strange paradox lies. We often expect spiritual awakening to ignite a fire within us, to fuel our passions and drive us toward greater heights. Yet for many, particularly those who are deeply introspective, those empaths and seekers, it has an opposite effect. Like a candle snuffed out, the spark fades, leaving behind a hollow echo of what once was. I recall a conversation with a friend, a luminous soul utterly entwined with the spiritual realm, enamored with the wisdom of the thinkers like Eckhart Tolle and Alan Watts. She experienced a massive awakening after enduring a dark night of the soul, a time when she thought she'd finally unraveled the threads of illusion, ego, identity, the relentless pursuit of external success. Yet, just 2 months later, she lay there, staring at her ceiling, trapped in a fog of inertia. I used to cry over not achieving enough, she confessed. Now I don't care whether I do anything at all. Awakening had not illuminated her path. It had dimmed her desire to walk it. Carl Jung, the father of analytical psychology, alluded to this post-awakening fog long before it became a topic of trending conversation. He didn't use the catchphrases and buzzwords of modern spirituality. Instead, he delved into the depths of the human psyche, understanding the transformation that occurs when the unconscious becomes conscious. Jung asserted that enlightenment doesn't arise from imagining figures of light, but by acknowledging the darkness within. This notion, while beautiful, comes with a stark reality. Awakening is not the conclusion of the journey. It marks the beginning of a psychological death, the death of who you once believed yourself to be. The very structures that infused your life with meaning, your goals, your career, your relationships, even your perception of time, begin to crumble around you. Herein lies the catch. As Jung would point out, your ego isn't vanquished, it's bewildered, it has lost its compass, and without a new map, motivation dissipates. This isn't about being depressed or losing your drive. It's about existing in a liminal space. You've woken from one reality, but haven't yet transitioned into another. But here's where it becomes fascinating and often misconstrued. What you're experiencing is not a failure, it's a profound and sacred shift. Jung warned that modern society shuns this transitional phase, this sacred pause, this void, this in-between. He believed it was vital for true individuation, the process of becoming your authentic self. Yet nobody mentions this part of the journey, do they? What's truly unraveling in your psyche after awakening? Why does the loss of motivation feel so profound? This could be the most significant spiritual upgrade you've ever undergone, if only you can grasp its essence. If you find yourself drifting through this post-awakening fog, questioning where your once vibrant spark has gone, know this: you are not losing your mind. You are traversing a psychological metamorphosis so deep it doesn't simply alter your thoughts. It rewires your entire operating system. The ambitions you once chased, the meticulous to-do list, the elaborate 5-year plans, the hustle culture playlists, they no longer resonate. This isn't a sign of failure. It's a testament to your evolution. Your very motivation system is collapsing. And Carl Jung foresaw this long before it became a popular subject in social media circles. To elaborate, for most of your existence, your motivation stemmed from your ego identity, the person you believed yourself to be. You sought validation, a sense of worthiness, success, and love. This isn't inherently negative. It's simply part of the human developmental process. Jung referred to this as the persona, the facade we wear to navigate societal expectations. However, the awakening process strips away this mask, leaving you bare, devoid of the desire to be liked or to win life's game. Once you perceive the game for what it truly is, everything shifts. Without the mask, those old ambitions seem ill-suited, tailored for a version of you that no longer exists. You find yourself akin to an actor who has stepped off the stage, bewildered and unable to recall the lines you were once so adept at delivering. This is why you may feel unmotivated. It's not that you've lost your drive. You've simply outgrown the fuel that once powered it. As Jung believed, we are not here to serve the ego. We are here to integrate it, aligning it with something greater than ourselves. He termed this journey individuation, a transformation from a fragmented identity into a unified self. It's not the small self that craves acknowledgement, but rather the transcendent self, the core of your being that connects to everything. This self, which is deeply intertwined with the universe, doesn't seek status, approval, or even clarity. It yearns to express profound truth. Once awakening transpires, your psyche begins to recalibrate. It instinctively rejects anything that feels artificial, forced, or ego-driven. This includes jobs, relationships, ambitions, and even that carefully curated dream board from 2021. Awakening is often depicted as both liberating and disorienting, yet Jung cautioned that if we remain stagnant at this juncture, we risk becoming stuck. Some individuals awaken only to fall prey to spiritual bypassing, convincing themselves that nothing holds value, that it's all an illusion. In doing so, they disconnect, drifting through life in a state of numbness, mistaking detachment for disengagement. However, the self desires something different. It wishes to express itself through you, to infuse the mundane with the divine. It doesn't reject the world. It redefines your role within it. To embrace this, you must navigate the enigmatic middle phase that Jung articulated so astutely, a phase that few recognize while they're immersed in it. Following awakening, there exists a realm that remains unspoken. It lacks glamour and often garners no social media likes. It doesn't resemble tranquil meditations in Bali or crafting profound quotes for Instagram. Instead, it manifests as moments of silence, staring blankly at the ceiling, unable to articulate your experience while the world rushes past you. A Jungian perspective would assert that you are not lost, you are in between. You have disentangled yourself from the ego, but have yet to discover a new mode of existence stemming from the self. This space is not indicative of failure, it is a rite of passage. Yet in our productivity-driven society, moments of stillness are misinterpreted as laziness. Pauses are equated with paralysis, and thus you find yourself judging your experience, an internal critique that obstructs the very energy your soul is yearning to reclaim. Jung coined the term enantiodromia to describe this psychological pause, the phenomenon where things flip into their opposites. When awakening occurs, your inner pendulum swings from ego-driven striving to soul-level stillness. You shift from "I must do everything" to "why do anything?" This swing is sacred. It's a means of restoring balance. Myths and ancient wisdom speak of this as the hermit phase, the death before rebirth. It's the moment when the caterpillar dissolves into a formless soup within the cocoon. Not yet a butterfly, nor just a caterpillar, simply goo. And yes, goo doesn't hustle, it doesn't strive, it simply exists. This is when the ego panics, clamoring for action, identity, and direction. But the self gently whispers, "Let go. I'm crafting something deeper." Much of modern spirituality seems to bypass these challenging truths. It preaches just follow your joy or high vibes only, while setting intentions and maintaining positive energy are valuable. Carl Jung would remind us that if we attempt to sidestep the darkness, we forfeit the gold hidden within. Jung believed that shadow integration, confronting the uncomfortable, repressed parts of ourselves, is not merely beneficial. It's essential to our wholeness as human beings. The sacred emptiness you're experiencing creates the necessary space for the unconscious to emerge. You are not failing, you are metabolizing, and your psyche possesses incredible wisdom. It will intentionally stall your motivation, your drive, even your clarity, urging you to feel, witness, and reclaim what you've buried deep within. That is the real work of this journey. Here's the beautiful twist. When you cease to resist, have you ever felt that gnawing sense of inner betrayal, as if you're dragging yourself through a life that simply doesn't resonate with your true essence? What if, instead of following a rigid checklist, you began to listen to that whispers of curiosity within you? How often do you choose the path of peace over the relentless pursuit of performance? Imagine a life where you are not just existing, but truly creating, where your actions are not dictated by external expectations, but fueled by an authentic inner alignment. This is a profound transformation, one that Carl Jung referred to as living symbolically, not in the realm of fantasy, but deeply rooted in the soul. It's about trusting your inner imagery, embracing your dreams, recognizing the synchronicities that dance around you, and acknowledging your gut feelings as guiding stars on your journey. So, what does this shift look like in the tapestry of everyday life? Sometimes, it's as simple as asking yourself a different set of questions. Instead of the usual, "What should I do?" a query steeped in obligation and expectation, why not ask, "What is quietly calling me?" When faced with decisions, rather than thinking, "What's the plan?" consider asking, "Where is life nudging me?" And instead of striving to prove yourself to the world, why not seek the honesty in what feels authentic? In this new paradigm, you begin to participate with life rather than dominate it. This doesn't imply that you relinquish your ambition, Rather, it calls for a transformation of that ambition into something far more profound: devotion. Devotion to your truths, to living fully in the present, and to personal growth. The irony here is striking. This kind of soul-powered energy accomplishes much more than the ego-driven hustle ever could. It's sustainable, it's real, and it's rooted in a deep sense of self. Your motivation shifts from the desire to impress others to the pure need to express your innermost self. In this space, you find yourself creating, serving, healing, teaching, and building, not out of obligation, but because every fiber of your being resonates with a resounding yes. If you're feeling as though your spark has dimmed after an awakening, recognize that the old fire may have burned away to make room for a deeper, more enduring flame, one that flickers not in response to the external winds of life, but stands strong and unwavering. Carl Jung did not promise an easy path, and if you find yourself here listening to these words, it's clear you are already on that journey. This journey is not about reclaiming the old motivation that once fueled you. It's about discovering a new motivation, one that is deeply rooted in a sense of wholeness rather than mere performance. This is not the conclusion of your awakening. Rather, it marks the beginning of your becoming. If this resonates with you, if it helps you articulate something you've been navigating in silence, I invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to hear about your journey and how it has unfolded for you. And if you seek more content that delves into the intricacies of psychology, soul, and self-awareness in ways that genuinely resonate with the realities of a life, make sure to subscribe to listen my advice. Remember, awakening is not the end of your personal narrative. It's where the real story begins. Your story, rich with depth and meaning. Thank you for your attention, my dear viewer. Please subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, like, and share this video with others. See you in the next video.